All right, so we're starting a new custom. And do you guys, so this was Midas, this figure right here. Do you guys remember this guy from Fortnite, Midas? I think that character could be absolutely fantastic. The only problem with this character is all that gold and that stupid plastic loincloth make him look like a full-blown idiot. So I'm just not a big fan of the only character that looks good in complete gold is what's his name, Sanguinius from the chapter master of the blood angels. That's about it. The rest of these guys, no, keep the gold off of them. I think this would make a great character, but only if we change some of this armor into like steel, a metallic look, and that'll make him look fantastic. I've already started the painting and priming of him. I tried to take a lot of the gold off myself so that even if the whatever I paint starts to come off, it'll be better. I did have to borrow a diaper from a G.I. Joe after I pulled the loincloth out because it kind of looks stupid if I didn't. But yeah, I think this is, I don't know whose diaper this is, but anyways, we're gonna go and continue. I did take the guns off of the sides. I'm gonna give them a new set of guns and maybe cover up and maybe put some detailing on here to make it look nice. But we'll see. As you can tell, I've stopped on the head there. I'm going to make the head a different color. I think I'm going to make it white or like a steel plate or something, but definitely not gold. Although gold looks kind of cool just in that spot right there. But the whole thing done in gold, that's just ridiculous. Nonsense. Anyways, let's keep working on it. And I'm going to spray paint it down a little bit. And then we're going to start doing some we're going to start coloring it silver, plate, I don't know, steel. We'll do something. And next time you see it, it'll be different. All right, so we're back at it, doing a little bit of modifications to it. A lot of work has been done on the head up here, simply because that's where a lot of the focus goes to. A lot of your eye is going to go to that. And next thing we're going to start is adding some silver highlights, some dry brushing. But it won't be the final touches of it, right? We gotta, now that it's mostly dark and deepened in color, now we're going to start bringing out the textures and the colors and the paneling, all that. This is kind of like the base coat of where we want to go. You can already tell this is a much better, I don't know, to me, a much better color design than what that just disgusting gold all over it is. Just, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's gaudy, and I've just never liked that. Maybe it's just the way that I was, trained in the military. You don't want to stand out. you get shot in your face. So anyways, next time you see it, we're going to do some basic highlighting, some basic bringing out that texture and color. And like I've always said, I picked this model because it did have those super, super bright gold pop outs, right? But a lot of the joints were in the color that I wanted to. And I've always said, I don't care how good a painter you are or modeler or customizer you are. You goof around with putting paints and joints and it'll look like trash because it eventually comes off. Now, if you're just going to pose it in one pose and leave it, well, then it'll work fine for you. But not me. I like to, pose them in different, styles of stuff. All right, let's keep going. All right, I don't know if you can see it now, but that is the first level of dry brushing that we're going to do. We haven't worked on the head very much, but that's the first level of dry brushing. After this, we're going to start bringing out some more details, and we're going to add some black wash to it to also give it a great look. After we're done with it, the most important part is to seal this in, maybe 2 or 3 coats of sealer. So, because I definitely want to pose this figure. So let's keep going. All right, I don't know if you guys can see the minute changes that we're doing. Number one, can you start to see that skull face coming into action, that the highlights that we're doing to it, the bone structure. We'll be adding some more detail later, but that's the way it's going. And some more tightening up of the figure as we go down here, right? So anyways, yeah, I'll just keep documenting it as we go. Well, here we are after a little bit more work. You can tell that we've actually done quite a bit of work on the skull here. Let me see if I can get it into focus. Come on, focus now. I'm gonna move this out the way. Focus, there we go. Skull's got a little bit more detail there. Why isn't it wanting to, I'm trying to do this freehand, so it's tougher, but let me see if I can excuse my painting on my hand. There it goes. Done some detail work on it. It's all the details are starting to pop out on it, and a much better looking, you'll excuse all the paint all over me. That's how I paint. You know, sometimes I use my hands as a test. So, and then here's the figure's body, trying to pop out those details, giving it a better look. It's not done yet. We've still got some more work to do on it, but I think it's coming in nicely. So, yeah, still going back and forth with some of the members about the name, but something to describe a Cobra, you know, Terminator-like assassin, like with foreboding, dark, imminent death. Anyways, let's keep working on it. Well, all right, collectors, here we are nearly at the end. I'll go through all of the bits and pieces that I used and what the inspiration was for it. But yeah, we're almost towards the end. I don't know. I really like the way it's turning out. The one thing that I would say is, well, the last thing we have to do is kind of seal it up one more time, because I did do a couple of things extra to it. So I've got to seal that up. But not only that, I have to add some markings on it, some water slide transfers. Because usually mechanisms that are dangerous have warnings on them. So this little maniacal mechanical monstrosity has got to get some warning labels on it. So anyways, yeah, we're going to wrap it up. Since some of y'all wanted to see some of the things that I used to get here, ultimately, the only person who has to be satisfied with this is this guy. So let me know if you guys like it or not. Me and my good buddy Kirk have been throwing around some names with it. Let me know if you guys have some names for it. He is evil. He is by Cobra. He is covert. And only Cobra Commander and 2 other scientists know of him. And so anyways, you know, come up with your own fiction. It don't matter. All of it's make-believe anyway. So yeah, I'll show you what parts I used and what paint I used. And, you know, I don't really do tutorials on how to paint. It's, to me, I guess maybe one day I could. You can leave it in the comments if you guys want to see how I do that, if you think this is worthy of showing you that. So, all right, let me finish this thing up. I love it. All right, collectors, and customizers, I don't know, collectors and customizers, here is the end product. I don't think I'm going to tweak it anymore. Of course, sometimes you see a few things that you want to make better. The problem is, if you keep refining and tweaking on a figure, you're never done with it. To me, this figure is virtually, I would say, 98% done. There is one other thing, but I'll keep that to myself as what I want to do with it. But it's very, very small, and I absolutely had, this is what, so when some of y'all ask me, why are you, troop building so much or collecting all these different figures? I love to customize, and what I don't enjoy is having to go to the store or having to wait for a specific thing to come in that I need for my custom. I love collecting toys. I love it. Absolutely love it. But there's one thing, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way. What I love even more is customizing. So now the customizing part of this is the paint job. Really, most of it is paint. There is some, so here, let's break it down. Let's just talk about what we did here. let's talk about the first thing that's most obvious is this cape. And this cape actually, this cape cost me $4 with a figure from a liquidation store. I think it's called Dirt Cheap, and it was some bird was I don't know. My wife and I went to this one place, and they happened to have some He-Man Masterverse figures, and that was Andra, I think was her name. And this is the cape that came with her. It was not wired. So here's what I did to keep it in place like this, you know, because to make the wires do right. Here, let me show you what I did. Maybe it'll help you guys one day. I popped the head off, and it's simply just a little curve of the wire right there. And then you slide that on top of here, and there you go. The cape stays in place. So that's, I did the wiring for the cape, and I borrowed it off a figure called, and I'll put a picture of the figure up here. I'll put the picture up there. So there's that. There we go. It has quite a few layers. So this figure's natural state to me is this. This is a Cobra assassin. He's not playing around. He's really one of these figures that likes to get into the mix of it and get in there quick and literally just tear you apart with his hands. That's what he does. You know, he's got these are his main weapon. He's going to get real close. You know, it's said that the closer you get to your target as an assassin, the better an assassin you are. And this thing was made to be a very close attack. Very vengeful, very dark, very angry. And so there you go. Now, does it preclude him from having weapons? No. I mean, he's got this if he might need that for extra help if he feels overwhelmed. He is cybernetically enhanced, so he's incredibly fast. You know, in my mind, making up some, just, weird fiction or whatever, just some fun fiction. And yeah, so this figure started out as Midas right here. And Midas it's a good figure base buck. But the way that they did the deco on this thing and the idea, it looks like trash. But it's always about looking through the stupidity of that art deco and looking past it and looking at the, what this could be, right? So, in looking past it, you could see that the armor is amazing. The skull looks amazing. You see his eyes in there, kind of glowy red in there. And ultimately, you know what? Ultimately, the only person that has to be happy with this custom is me. That's it. So yeah, this was a Midas buck. I replaced this with a Joe. So I didn't like the stupid loincloth. That looks ridiculous. So I took that off and I put this, I think this belongs to a Tiger Force Dusty. I don't know. This 9mm, this weapon here belongs to, I got it off of Gridiron's website, I think. And it just, you just add it right here. It comes with a little thing you can just put on there. So yeah, it was a Midas, base buck. Again, use some very stylized painting techniques, and I'll show you all my super fancy, amazing paint brushes and super amazing paint as well, because that's where it is. You really have to have top-notch paint and top-notch paint brushing tools to really you'll see what I mean. I meant it all as sarcasm, and you'll see what I mean. So anyways, but maybe you guys find that different. Anyways, I don't know. So yeah, giving you a closer look here as to what I did. Different thing, dry brushing, some ink washes, I added some, some little stickers here on it. Not stickers. These are, I imagine his reactor cores in there, right? And this is where he lets off the heat. So anyways, Midas base buck, Gridiron this. Now here's where it was very lucky. These hands, these claw hands like that, added some, like he can pull them out if he has to, because he loves using those claw hands in my imaginative story. These come from the Night Agent from Monster Force. I'll put a picture of it right here. These hands fit perfectly into this slot right here. And he comes with a pair of these darker hands as well. And these fit perfectly. They slot right in there as well. So not a lot of, that's more of an immediate kit bash. It's so lucky. That Night Agent has really, really paid for itself. I did that John Wick custom a little bit ago too, from using Budo and stuff on it. So that's amazing. And also, what else did we do? So that's, I don't know. I'm just really digging this figure. So much fun to do. It was so much fun. Hang tight. So what would I give this figure? So number one, those are his weapons of choice, right? And he's now when I say cybernetically enhanced, there's a human in here, but a very aggressive, in my fiction, human who's been almost, first off, you start off with a very base aggressive human, maybe a viper that was, a super heroic viper, that was doing all the Cobra, Cobra heroics, knocking out Joes, but they managed to save him, and then they put him back to work as one of these things, So you get the pair of hands, right? The claw hands and the grip hands. That's what I would do if I were to ever sell something like this. And then you also, like I said, look, if worse comes to worse, and please don't forget slings on, if you ever do a really good custom, don't forget the sling. There is nothing so stupid as a soldier who has a weapon without a sling, because you're not going to carry it on you you got to find a way to put it, right? You got to have a holster and you got to have a sling. Where else are you going to, and the soldier never loses his weapon ever, or you're going to be doing push-ups until, the cows fly home or whatever. I don't know. So anyways, a nice little sling here, a nice little weapon, in case, again, he gets overwhelmed or whatever, but it's going to take a lot for him to get overwhelmed. So that's what I would put in it, and that's what you would get in the cloak. I don't sell my customs, so let's just get that straight right off the bat. So let me show you one last thing. Let me show you all of the fancy paint that is absolutely a requirement, according to so many YouTubers that you have. All right, so here we go with the award-winning paint, the super expensive paint that I use. Can you tell? This is just, apple barrel. I don't know where I got this. Pop sugar. I don't know. It's some more apple barrel stuff. These are my little pots, the tops of drinking water cans that I have. This is where I used to kind of mix some of my paints and stuff. And then these are the brushes that I use. I just get these anywhere. I just get them anywhere. So here's where I think I have one. Number one, if you guys have followed me for a while, I have actually won competitions in Warhammer painting. Maybe like, I don't know, it was a while ago. Maybe I'm going to say about 15, 20 years ago. I used to do a lot of Warhammer miniature painting. And I would win the competitions with this. Let me just be clear. It's not about the paints, really. If somebody's trying to sell you the most expensive paint because you've got to have the best paint to paint the best miniatures or figures or customs, it's a bunch of bullshit. Because it's not about the paint. It's about the artist. And if you know the chemical, if you know the paint, if you know how to make the paint work for you, it's about the technique. It's about the knowledge of the paint. It's about how the paint reacts and how you control it. Don't be a lazy knucklehead and not, you have to know how these paints react, right? Now, does having super refined, high expensive paint help? Maybe, but it's not about the paint. It's about the artist. You're still going to paint sloppy. You're going to paint sloppy. So there is one thing that I would highly recommend, though. If you like what I've been doing, if you like some of the customs that I stuff, go back and look at some of the customs that I've painted before and some of the work that I do. One thing that I would recommend to spend the dollars on, because I've already tried a bunch of those and I know how they react, and they don't react well because they're not meant for this miniature hobby. Now, this does make a difference, tremendous difference. Clear coating the product, clear coating your custom, because You're using acrylics. Oh, and there's another thing. Stop painting the joints. I don't care how good, I really just don't care how good of an artist you are. If you put acrylic in those joints, unless you just pose it and let it there in a museum pose all day, those joints are going to wear off the paint. Find a figure that has near to the same texture of paint that you want. It's worth the time and effort. Do not paint those joints. Stop painting joints. It's just going to look terrible. So I can move this figure all day and the joints won't wear off. Why? Because it's about the same color as what I painted it. So just make sure you... Anyways, back to it. This is one thing that you should not skimp out on, because I've already tested all the Walmart brands, all of the Target, all of the Ace Hardware, all the paints. I've already, clear coat finishes, I've already tested them. And nothing on this planet beats this. This is made for what we do. This. So if you buy a Walmart brand sealer, it's meant for a giant, chairs. It's not meant for, so it's going to glob up on you. It's going to make the paint look horrible. It's just not a good idea. Use this. This was formulated for that, and miniatures and models. So use this. Don't skimp on this. Skimp on this all you want and learn how to paint. This isn't the problem. You just got to learn how to make it do what you want it to do. And you don't have to buy expensive stuff. That's silly. You could just work with what you got. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I had a tremendous amount of time creating it. Like I said, building these customs was fun to me. And I'm sorry at the end there if I sound a little ranty about the paints. I just get really annoyed when people try to say that you need the best paints and the best brushes. No, you really don't. I was selling miniatures, armies, winning Warhammer stuff, winning Warhammer contests with, these, this. So don't be fooled. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate every single one of you. Special thanks to the members. Their input, generosity, and guidance allow me to bring you guys better content. If you want some more input or more 209 Ed, why not join the classified members and classified members Mondays, and they get a little bit more insight into what I'm working on. They already knew I was working on this, and they already got to see some of the things that I have planned for the future. So again, thank you, members. Thank you very much for your support. And as always, as long as you guys keep watching my shenanigans, I'll keep rolling them out.